The keyword this is possibly the single most frustrating part about JavaScript. It has frustrated many a developer, and there are some that just avoid using it because they can't be sure what the value will be. We're going to clear things up so you are confident in using the keyword this in your code. So in this tutorial, we'll first define the keyword this and look at some examples. Now, the keyword this refers to the object that called or invoked the function that contains the keyword as a part of that function. So using this definition, the keyword this will always refer to an object. It references an object. And it is an object that invokes the function. That's where using this is advantageous. Now let's look at this definition. The object referenced by the keyword this is not determined by where a function is declared, but actually how that function is invoked. And that's an important distinction. So how the function is invoked determines the value of the keyword this, determines which object is referenced. So keep that in mind. Now let's begin illustrating this with some examples. So first thing I'm going to do is set up a function, and I'm going to use var to declare this function. This is an important point which I will get to later. It's going to be a function expression, and all we're going to do is just log to the console like this the value of the keyword this. That's all we're going to do. Nothing more than that. And then down here, let's just invoke that function. Now, based on the definition, notice how we're invoking the function. We're just invoking it here in the global space. That's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and save this. And you know what? I'm going to pull this over a bit so we can take a look at the console while we're working with this. And we can see that the value of the keyword this is actually window. We see it right here. That's what's showing up as the value of the keyword this. So how do we make sense of that? If the keyword this references an object, well, window is an object, so that's good, but it is how it is invoked, or which object is invoking it. So in this case, what we're saying is that the global object, window, is what is invoking this. Now, that works pretty well, or that is understandable when we know we can do something like this. When the function is declared with var as a function expression, we can do window dot get this. Remember, it is placed on the window object. So now if I comment out this one and we save that, invoking it, I'm going to clear this, and I'll declare it down here. I'm getting all those warnings from something else that's in my browser window, so apologize for that. I'll just go ahead and declare that down here. And there we get the window. Now that makes more sense because this object is being used to invoke this function. So it fits with the definition which we have given this, that this function is attached to the global object. Now remember that when a function is invoked, an execution context is created. And one of the properties of that execution context is the keyword this and what it references. And so that helps us understand that window is the object that is referenced with this. That helps us understand that because the execution context is set up for the get this function. And it is assigned to that. Now, the fact that the value of this refers to the global object when we are simply invoking the function this way can be a bit confusing. Well, I want you to notice what happens when we use strict mode here. This can help clear things up, I think. So back to the code, and up here at the top of the code, I'm just going to put use strict. So we're going to put it in strict mode. Then I'll save that. And then I'll clear everything again. And now notice what happens when we enter get this. It's undefined. So using strict causes it to be undefined unless we're invoking it from an object. Do the same thing using window at the start. Now we get the window object. I think, or at least to me, that makes more sense. That helps with this definition of how something is invoked. Now, we would get the exact same results if this were declared, if this were a function declaration. So let me go ahead and comment that out, and we'll do this as a function declaration. Console.log, we're just going to do the exact same thing, no difference that way, but now it's a function declaration instead of a function expression using the keyword var. So let me go ahead and comment out this. We'll save that. I'm going to clear, and then get this, undefined, but now if we do window get this, that has the window object. Now, one more thing I want before we leave this topic, this initial topic on the keyword this, I want to mention one more thing, and that is const and let. If we use a function expression and we use const or let instead of var, get this will not be added to the window object. Let me go ahead and show that. So I will uncomment that, and I'll change it to const, which is what I usually do when I'm setting up a function expression. Let's go ahead and comment out this one, and we'll save that, and we'll do clear again. Now, when we do get this, we still get undefined. That hasn't changed, but now we can't do window.getThis. The standard for let and const say that when a function expression is defined, it is not added to the window object like it is with var or like it is for a function declaration. And so therefore, we're not able to do the same type of thing that we can do when a function is defined that way. Now, this is not the type of thing you do frequently. I'm only doing this to illustrate the definition of the keyword this, to illustrate that it is how a function is invoked that determines the object that this references. Now, all of these differences can be a bit confusing, but they're important to show because you need to know about them. I think you need to know about them. But we generally use the keyword this when we are working with objects. That is when it's valuable to use. It's not really valuable in the example I gave here. So we're going to move on in the next topic and look at that. But remember the definition, because that definition is important. That helps us be able to establish what the value of the keyword this will be in different circumstances. All right, next topic.